Hey guys, what's up? So we were able to go get static mixers. So the only thing I'll be able to do today is I'll be able to go through the cylinders real quick, weld those up. I'm gonna have to paint these, but it's gonna take 4 to 6 hours for the stuff to cure anyway. So it'll most likely be tomorrow. We'll get them painted, get those cured up, and then later tomorrow evening we'll get the top end set. It'll be, I wasn't able to get some things ordered due to some money stuff, so it'll probably be tonight. I've got the money now figured out. Get some parts ordered for the clutch. Sorry, I'm worried about touching my face. I just noticed that. But yeah, so guys, we'll get these cylinders epoxied up. Just make sure they're airtight when we go to seal it. We're not gonna get anything else done. And then I'll have stuff on the way. We probably won't see those parts from Rocky Mountain until Wednesday. We're only about an hour and a half north of them, but usually their 3-day shipping comes in about a day and a half, so it's not terrible. And then once our clutch is in and our top end is done, Friday we'll be running the head over to Nova Color in Ogden to see what they can do about hooking us up with some color. We'll get that set up. We got a mock-up intake that we're going to be doing, and once we have the stuff for the clutches, we'll be able to set the whole side case. And so then literally after that point, it'll just be the head. We'll mock up the intake, make sure those fit. We'll send out our reads for machine work. We'll also get our measurements on our spacer. We'll dry fit the pipes and make sure they're going to work, and if we need to modify them, we'll show you what's going on with that. And then we'll do probably a cardboard mock-up of what the intake's going to look like. You guys will be able to see that as well. And yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. Quick synopsis of what it's going to look like. And both these are getting, to an extent, an intake. So when we do that mock-up for the air filter setup that we're talking about, that'll be done twice. So we'll be building 2 of those, one for each Banshee right here in front of me that you guys saw the video earlier. Might cut a glance of that. And yeah, that's kind of where we're at. That's kind of where we're moving forward to. This will be done in sections, obviously. We'll break it into like 4 or 5 parts, and we'll go from there. So if you guys have questions, throw them at me. Happy to answer them. And appreciate you guys for watching. Remember, for our first 1,000 subscribers, we're doing 10 hoodies and a giveaway just for free, just saying, hey, thanks for checking us out. And check us out, alwayslookingforadventure.com. All right, guys. So here's a quick. I'm gonna clean this up a little bit, but here's what we got going on. So we sealed our weld there and there. This outer one on the backside still needs to be there. You can't really see it. Up in here, I cut through the top, so I did weld down the jacket. Let's see if this is set up enough to where it won't run everywhere. Yeah, you can kind of see it there. Don't mind the trains. You hear that? Okay. So, guys, we were able to see if we can get this showed off. There we go, JB weld done. It's all cured up. This is the next day. We were able to get that all done. We're gonna go ahead and paint these cylinders really quick, just enough to turn them back to black. I'm a little bit anal on the theme of the build, so that'll come to, you'll see why later, but just want to try and keep that as much the color scheme as possible. So I'm going to touch these up black once they're cured up. Probably just throw a time lapse onto that, and then I will probably take a second, measure these out. I'll tell you guys the measurements on them if you're curious about it, just so I have it for my own personal knowledge. And then from there, we'll go a little bit in the top end. There'll probably be a note on the torque spec for that, but a lot of that will just be, I need to check my gaskets and make sure they're gonna work and not impede on the base gasket. Mainly the cool head will run O-rings, so that shouldn't be any problem. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get this set up, get these cylinders in. I'm excited, guys. This has been a long road to get here, and we're doing a lot of fun things with the intake and some of the other things we're working on. So I'm just really ecstatic that we're finally made it here. I got a lot of projects I'm juggling, and this one just seemed appropriate just to finish. It's been on the bench for a long time, and I've just spent a lot of time making sure other people's projects are taken care of. And so that's what kind of pushes me, just to say, you know, let's get this thing done. I actually teased a buddy of mine for having a bike that waited for 10 years and happened to me, so I'll be sure to watch my mouth next time the conversation comes up, because I've been that guy. So it's easy to do too. And so we're gonna touch these up black. We're gonna dig into our pistons, make sure we got some oil. We'll do the top end, run that together. So we'll kick off time lapse and just get this thing rolling. Alright guys, really quick. I've trimmed 3 of these already, but due to the port work, what I'm doing, shout out to Cometic for running an aluminum based like crush gasket. But what I'm doing is I'm lining these up fairly close, and I'm putting pressure just on the inside lip of the gasket. I actually already did this one before I filmed it, but you can see it. So you can see the impression line just ever so slightly right there on the, you can probably see it just right there on the, where it bends. So all I'm doing, and you can see where I've cut, I just got some shears, and I'm just making sure there's no interference between the two. Sorry, camera angle's rough. So that's what it is now. There's a little bit here, but I don't want to go too thin, so majority of it I might fiddle with this one a little bit. This one's done too. You can see it opens up a lot. And so we're just going to clean that very little edge out to make sure that those pass through. We did the same thing. We took a manila folder on the bottom where I showed you guys a little bit where we ported those out. Took a manila folder, poked the holes for it, bolted the cylinder down so that it impressed. That was before we ported the cylinders, but that's how I got my gauge for what the port matching would be. And so now I'm just making sure the gaskets don't cause me any interference on the flow. So that's what we're doing there, just so you guys are aware kind of where we're at. Got some paint going That one's done. This one's painted. I cleaned them all up. And don't mind me, we're by the Air Force Base, so we got jets all the time. This is going to be a common thing. But yeah, guys, that's where we're at. Excited to see how this comes together. We'll probably be throwing pistons in here tonight. I got to check and make sure I got some oil to do that with. And that's where we're at. Tomorrow's Wednesday. That's my payday. So I'll be doing a parts order tonight. I'll probably be doing stuff like brakes, the clutch, whatever we need to do to the clutch and the water pump. And I've got a side case cover here already. And so, guys, there's a pretty good chance, minus a head and an intake and pipes obviously, that this motor's 90% complete. We'll get the brakes dug up and figured out. I've got sprockets I can run. We'll do the torque settings, and luckily I've got a few days off this weekend, so we'll have some time to really knock this out. We were going to do trans trailer, but things got moved around, and that's just where we're at. All right, guys, we're back. We're on the Banshee project still. So today's Thursday, and don't mind me, it's kind of my Friday at the moment, so I'm just jamming because I get to play for a couple days. Okay, so I got the pipes here. Tomorrow morning we'll be running down to see what we can do about getting our cool head anodized to go with the color scheme, as well as I got some other parts down the road that we'll be doing. I have some stuff mocked up. We didn't really go into too much detail on the intake we're doing, and I'm gonna wait until later. You guys are gonna probably see parts of it and wonder what that is, but there'll be more of that to come a little bit later. So feel free to throw comments in, and we'll go from there. As for pipes, I went with CPI on this one. They actually did a ton of help. They offered me a ton of help, the guys over there, with specs, and they even did my machine work on the jugs and all that for me. I did grind these myself as far as the port works, so but this is all according to their spec. So yeah, those guys are awesome over there, and I appreciate them huge. And so I've got the pipes, but to make sure everything's gonna fit between our intake and all that jazz, these are only tacked together at the moment, so I may have to modify them, and if I do, that's not a big deal. But in that event, then yeah, we'll be modifying some pipes, which we're good with. I did just dry fit one just to kind of see where it puts me. I won't be able to get a true mock-up until I have two things done. I have some spacers mocked up that I can use. I need to modify the reed cage, and we'll go into more into that and what that looks like. And then I need the carb boots for the 34 mil carbs. Now there is a chance we'll be boring these out to 35.5, but for now we're gonna run them at 34 just to see how that goes for us. So there's a quick overview where things are at. This time lapse is simply just going to be showing a dry fitment of the pipes. It's not going to be anything overly fancy. Tomorrow we'll look at what kind of timeline we're going to be on the heads. I don't want to get too involved. I don't want to pull the plastics or anything where I got the jugs on. I don't want to leave that open for too long and be fiddling with it without the heads and stuff in it. So that is a pretty quick overview of where we're at. Guys, throw any comments, questions at me that you can. I'm happy to answer them, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see how the colors pull together. I'm excited to see this motor come together, and I should have the parts for the clutch tomorrow morning. So shout out to Rocky Mountain ATV for getting those sent up. I also have some things like tie rod ends. for the steering that we can start working that. I need to decide a couple things on components that way, but guys, from there it should come pretty quick. It'll be brakes and coolant and oil, and then our intake and the filter setup, and then tires. So I mean, we got a list, but it's stuff that's getting done, hopefully. So that's kind of where we're at. Yeah, if you guys, like I said, throw any questions you have. Like I said, our first 1,000 subs, we're throwing hoodies out, so we're gonna do 10 hoodies to give away, just to kick it off and say thanks for being with us and enjoying us in this process and the projects we got going on. So hopefully we have more to come soon, and we're just gonna keep on rolling. So appreciate you guys, and get back to it. Hey guys, I wanted to jump on really fast, give you a quick update. So you guys have seen the transition from iPhone. We got our GoPro going, but I wanted to let you know we had some issues with some footage, so some of this was confusing. Thanks for bearing with us, and super stoked about the direction we're getting ready to move forward in. Where we're at right now, I've taken a lot of time to sift through some footage and compile all that. So I just want to jump on, let you know this is the end of this video. Check out our next one, and we're working on organizing these videos as we go, so we'll clean those up for you guys and make them easier to follow. Just wanted to just say thank you guys for tagging along. Hopefully this helps. If you guys have any questions on the Banshee project so far and where we're at, I'd love to give you the update on where that's going to be. Also, we're going to be trying to get some updates pretty regularly moving forward. And I came out and looked at it today, and I've got some wiring stuff that I'll actually go through a whole video on, because I spent some time on YouTube and no one's really touched on it. So I will look into that and do a video specific and explain why I do that to come. But yeah, thanks guys for checking us out. Like I said, if you have any questions on this build, I'm more than happy to answer them for you. And we're seeing light at the end of the tunnel on this, so super stoked to see her come together, and just wanted to shout out and say thanks so much. Check out our other videos, and we'll have more to come soon. Appreciate you guys.